When you're praying, decreeing, and declaring, make sure that what you're aiming for is deliverance and not relief. Because you can get relief. The relief may last for a year or 2 or 5 or maybe a decade. But once the relief works out, once it fades away, you're worse off than you were before. Because it's how relief works. The danger is put on a hold. So the danger doesn't manifest, but the danger is still there. You're still under threat, but the threat doesn't work out and it doesn't harm you immediately. The destruction is delayed. And because the destruction is delayed, you think it's all over, you think you're completely fine. But then, when the blockade is removed from the danger floods you again. That's how relief works. Many of the prayers that people pray are relief-centered. It's all about getting rid of something that annoys them. They don't ask the question why something's annoying them. They just feel annoyed and just want to get rid of this tension. They don't realize this tension is a result of their wrong way of thinking. But to see the wrong way of thinking means that they need to take responsibility for renewing their mind and to get better ways of thinking. And that's not easy. So a lot of folks just want to be relieved. They just want to be relieved from situations. And it's very easy to seek relief. People seek relief all the time. People become violent. And the best way to achieve relief is by blaming someone else for your discomfort. I'm not saying the other did not contribute to your discomfort, but by you not seeking for a long-term solution, you are now stuck in relief seeking. And by blaming it all on the perpetrator or the alleged perpetrator, because often people don't go after perpetrators, they go after a scapegoat, by completely blaming it on someone else without looking at yourself, seeing what you could have done or what you can do in a constructive manner, you're now trapping yourself in a cycle of offense. Because when your prayers are relief-centered, you're trapped in a cycle of offense. And it's just a matter of time before that bubble, that energetic bubble of relief bursts and you're back where you started, and often worse. Let me give an example. You had this guy, he's from Curacao, just like me. He was born in the 70s, he had many brothers and sisters, but most of them got involved in drugs or in other types of criminality. And he made plain that he didn't want to be involved in such stuff. And he managed not to be involved. He moved to the Netherlands, he met someone over here, they had children together, and for a while, he had his job, things were working out fine. So he thought, good, that's all behind me. Then one day, he lost his job, he couldn't find work, and he received welfare, but it wasn't enough. His wife left him. So now there was a struggle with seeing the children, but eventually he was allowed to see his kids. So, to make ends meet, some of his acquaintances offered him something. Told him, just deliver this package. You don't have to be involved with anything. And he did it, and he got paid. And that's how he ended up delivering more packages. And eventually, he realized that the same existence that he was fleeing from, he's involved in it. And I'm not going to make the story long because there's no long story. One day, he disappeared. He just vanished. And for more than a decade, his family, not family, but his children, and also his relatives, I'm not talking about his ex, but his relatives and his children are looking for him. And the police is asking people who are involved in the criminal world to reveal things anonymously. They don't know what happened to the guy. He may have died when he was trafficking drugs, or he may have decided to flee and start all over again. Nobody knows. If he decided to flee and start over, that means that people were after him and didn't want those people who were after him to harm his children or people around him, so he just disappeared. So what happened here? This guy noticed that there was a demonic pattern working out in his relatives, in his environment, and he fled from that demonic pattern. So by fleeing from the pattern, he got relief. And during that relief, he met someone, he had children, he got a job. So he thought it's all over. When the relief faded away, that same demonic pattern rushed all over him again. And that's how it goes in the world. So, to extend the relief, pagans transfer the attention onto someone else, or they get into cults where they contribute to the pagan worship, and in exchange they have extended relief. That's how it goes in the world. Worldly people have no deliverance, believers do. That's why when you're praying, examine your prayers. Do not pray to get relief. Pray to be delivered. And when you are delivered, you pray for the advancement of God's kingdom through you on the earth. That's what you pray for. Do not pray to get relief. Pray to advance the kingdom of God through you on the earth. You can get relief, but it will not be God's will. God will often lead you into a wilderness in your life, so you will unlearn the toxic ways of the world. God will allow people to do you dirty, to use your name as a swear word or as a cuss word. God will allow people to talk bad behind your back. God will allow people to do very dumb things to you. Why? So that you learn to rely on Christ directly and to unlearn rejection and the fear of men. God will often lead you into difficulty. And I may ask, why would God do that? Because God wants you to develop, God wants you to unlearn the satanic programs of the world. God wants you to be exposed to the fact that those satanic programs won't work for you unless you have demonic assistance. And because you're not involved in the paranormal, you get no demonic assistance. And because you don't get any demonic assistance, the satanic patterns cannot work for you. Because you don't get assistance from demons, you see the satanic patterns of what they are. I mean, satanic programs, demonic patterns, you know what I'm talking about. So, yes, God will lead you into difficulty to get you out for better. Too many people think, because this is what church taught them. Church taught them that when you follow Christ, you will be led into easy places. That's not true. There are times God sees an easy way out for you, but God on purpose will lead you through a more difficult road, because He sees that if you would receive the easy road, when resistance comes in the future, you will flee. God wants that relief taken out of you. He wants it out because it won't benefit you at all. Well, that's it for now. Keep agreeing with Christ and be at peace.